So let's talk a little bit about what kind of entity do you set up, if any. I think you want to set one up. I guess the reason not to is there's no cost. The reason to do so, I think, are multiple. Something, Faye, you've pointed out to me, separates your assets, does all sorts of things to protect you. But some quick, simple answers. One, companies like to deal with companies, not just people. They want to have something, you'll be going through getting on their procurement system to get paid. It's like, well, what's your EIN? Well, what's an EIN? Well, that's your employer identification number instead of your social security number. I don't have one. Well, our form requires one, and there's no one to talk to about that because it's a vendor somewhere in some other country. And you're like, well, I can't fill in the form. Well, you can't go any farther, then you can't get paid. Try getting through to someone to get that one fixed. No one knows how to fix that within the company you're working for or the company wherever they're operating from. It's just that's part of their flow. So being a company makes a difference. There's also quite a bit of protection for you in that space because, as we talked about, you separate what you're doing as a person from what you're doing as a business. And there are tax implications and there are income implications. So it really depends upon the type of business. This is another one you need to research. Another reason why it's good to have an attorney that you found that you can trust, generally through referral, or a tax accountant you can trust. Generally, I think through referral, find someone and have a conversation with them and say, what are the pros and cons? Because right now you don't even know all the questions to ask and answer. I don't know all the things to tell you because I didn't actually have to go that far beyond a few points and saying, yep, you need to have an LLC. That's the best thing. And we moved into there. Now, I've looked at in the state I am now, is it possible to have an S or a C corp as well? And what does that do for me? It depends at certain levels of revenue, certain levels of income. It all gets very complicated. And it's the kind of stuff that your likelihood of making a mistake is high and your likelihood of not figuring it out right is high. So again, it's the kind of thing you need to pay for. You're going to need to accept that there are some minimum costs for running a business and you have to pay them. And that's just the way it works. You can try and minimize those, but you can't avoid them altogether. It's not sustainable for your business.